3.7 FM. Connected to Eagle 7 Sports Radio Station is a simultaneous broadcast running alongside the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. You can't afford not to be tuned to the live streaming of The Sports Parliament on all NTA and Eagle 7 Sports Radio platforms. When you think expertise, think of the parliamentarians. A pool of 20 sports experts have been drawn from different fields of sports. And every week, depending on the subject selected, join in an exciting, engaging, insightful and in-depth conversation. The eyes always have it. Tune in at 10:30 p.m. West African time and be blown by the detailed discussions of the parliamentarians. Eagle 7 brings to you on a silver platter the Sports Parliament every Thursday, 10:30 p.m.
This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM.
She is a goddess of track and field in the history of athletics in Africa, the Commonwealth, and even in the United States of America. She left Nigeria over 40 years ago and has not granted any major interview since then. On the Sports Parliament tonight, we shall be having a world-exclusive conversation with Modupe Oshikoya, OLY, former African and Commonwealth champion. She's going to be joining us from her base in California. And sitting in Parliament with me tonight are returnee doctor in the house, Dr. Kweku Adedayo Tando. Doc, how now? Doctor, can you hear me? I can't hear Doctor. Well, also in the house with me tonight is Agu Imo, another returnee, Agu Imo.
Parliamentarians, and good evening all.
Yeah, so Kweku, I come back to you now. Kweku, I think we can hear you now. Kweku, how are you?
Very well, Mr. Speaker. Good evening, sir.
Fantastic.
Nice to be back on set.
And all the way from his base in England is Satish Seka. Satish, good evening.
Good evening, Shagan. Pleasure to be here and meet the legend you hid from me for so long.
She's been hiding from everybody for so long. I am Segun Odegbami, Speaker of the Sports Parliament, coming to you live from our studios in Abeokuta, the studios of Eagle 7 Sports Radio, downtown Pansheke. This is it. Join us after the break when we are going to meet with the goddess of track and field. After the break.
27 years as a great publication and 17 years as a website. Completely digital. Now you can read all your regular in-depth content presented in captivating graphic design on your phone at the click of a button. Complete Sports goes completely digital and it's completely free. Download Telegram app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Join the Complete Sports Telegram channel. Receive your free copy of Complete Sports and Complete Breaking News Daily. It's completely free. Complete Sports, Nigeria's #1 sports daily since 1995.
Shagway is really an artist these days. He's untouchable in that right flag. Shagway is still going. And it's in the net. It is in the net. Goal by 3. Incredible.
Eagle 7 Sports Radio.
Welcome back. This is the Sports Parliament. Once again, we are coming to you on terrestrial radio if you are in the Abeokuta area of Nigeria on Eagle 7 103.7 FM. And if you are anywhere else in the world, you can be watching us on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, and also on Facebook. Otherwise, you can hear us on Eagle 7. Eagle7fm.com all over the world. Well, our guest tonight is special. I have described her as a goddess. Probably the most complete female athlete that Nigeria has ever produced. Former national champion, former African champion, former Commonwealth champion, one of the greatest collegiate athletes in the history of the United States. She did, or could do at the time, 7 or 8 different events. She did the pentathlon. She also attempted or did the heptathlon. She could run, she could jump, she could do everything. I have the greatest pleasure to welcome to our studios here, for the first time in so many decades, on Nigerian, any of the screens, Modupe Oshikoya, OLY, Olympian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for welcoming.
I like that background behind you. It is a combination of the Nigerian flag, green, white, and green, and I can see the American flag. Now you belong to the 2 continents. America took you away. America took you away almost 50 years ago. It has been that long for Modupe and I to meet maybe 2 weeks ago. So, you have a lot to tell us. Now, take us back to Methodist Girls High School in Yaba, where I believe all of this started. How did it start? And fortunately, we have on the set tonight Agu Imo, whose mother was, I don't know, was she a teacher, headmistress in Methodist Girls High School at the time? Anyway, tell us about your journey from Methodist Girls High School.
I guess I was admitted to Methodist Girls High School. When I started, there was a teacher in my elementary school, Mr. Adam, that recommended me to Methodist Girls High School because he saw the potential in me. And when I got to Methodist Girls High School, I was fortunate to have a very good principal back then, Miss Walker, who also saw the potential in me and helped me both my academic and track also.
So what happened? What happened? They saw that you could run, you could jump, and then how did it all begin that you now became a national star? That journey from Methodist, how did this happen? Because I know from Methodist you went to the national team or something. What happened?
Well, there was a couple of inter-school competition that we do, and also between the what do they call it now? I forgot.
It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago.
We used to compete in between inter-school or inter.
Either inter-house or inter-school.
Inter-house
sports.
Competition. Yeah, that's where we started becoming noticed. I was one of the top athlete back then, and then from there the national coach, Coach Eleya, also saw me and took me under his wings.
Awutere Eleya?
Yeah, Awutere Eleya.
Wow. So how? They just invited you to the national team and then How did
Yeah,
you do?
he invited me to the national team, and he had to persuade my dad for me to be able to compete, because my dad wasn't too keen on me running back then. He wanted me to just concentrate on my education, but Coach Eleya and Miss Walker were able to persuade him to let me, that they take care of my academic.
So what happened in the national team then? What happened? What year did you get into the national team? Because you were part of the second All Africa Games. You were so young.
Well, I wasn't that young, but I was competing. I was doing a lot of, back then there was so much competition going on. There was inter-school, inter-house, inter-colleges, so many colleges, competition going on. I remember coming home one day with a lot of wristwatches, like 4 or 5, and I was just like, I think a 6 or 8 year old then, and back then that was when 7-Up was still sponsoring sports. So I used to come home also with a lot of 7-Up for my family. Yeah.
So how did you get?
That encourages me.
Yeah. So how did you get into that All Africa Games team? I cannot tell the story because I was not there. You know.
Yeah, I know, but
you have forgotten so many things. So
I was competing. I was invited to compete in some of the national team. So, and I started beating some of the top athletes that was already there, and that's what they invited me to come and. Well, you start with the. Oh God, my memory is.
Oh, yeah. You see, you like me now. We are really getting old. we forget these things. It's so way back.
I know that there was we used to do the the national invitation and oh God, what's the other? I forgot, but somehow competing in a lot of track meet that propelled me to be invited into the national team.
Okay. What events were you doing when you were in secondary school? What events?
I first started with the high jump.
Okay.
That was my favorite. I love jumping high. And then from high jump, I went to hurdles. And then from hurdles, I got into the long jump.
So you were really a jumper to start with. You were really a jumper. Okay, so I will just throw the floor open to my colleagues. I know Kweku is just sitting there listening to history, and Agu too. Agu must have some questions. Unmute yourselves. Just unmute your phones, and then just be part of the conversation. So Kweku, don't let me call you. Don't let me invite you. Just join in and ask and participate. Kweku, we start with you.
It's nice to listen to. I don't know whether you can hear me, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, we can hear you.
It's nice to Mutukwe Oshikoya. You know, that name brings back a lot of memories, especially the All Africa Games then. I remember, you know, she was in Methodist Girls High School, like she said, and I know at that time we used to come to the National Stadium for this Greer and Powell competitions between schools.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Greer Cup.
Yeah.
Cup, and then the Aussie Cup as well. And all. So some of us then that were in Lagos used to come to watch then. So I'd heard about her before she went for the All Africa Games. And I remember I was at the stadium watching the All Africa Games when she had that long jump gold medal. I think that was one of the most prominent medals she had, and the long jump gold medal at the All Africa Games. So it's nice to hear her again and to see her after so long. I think I saw her sometime in 2012 when you came to Nigeria. We were about to host the National Sports Festival in Lagos State at that time.
Yes.
Yes, came to our office. I was the Secretary General of the organizing committee.
Oh, no. Yeah, I remember you now.
You came to the office. We had pictures with you and all that.
Yes.
Very nice to hear you. And
thank you.
When you were talking about all those competitions, you had the mobile athletics as well and all that. You now begin to wonder what has happened now.
Yes.
Where competitions disappeared to, and how can we get them back?
Amen. Yes. Yeah, because I remember that almost every weekend, every day, there's always something going on, and we enjoy doing it because we come home with all these prizes, gifts, and all that. So that really give us the incentive to want to compete and run and just go. I mean, can you believe coming home with about 4 or 5 wristwatch? That was a Timex or whatever that wristwatch, and I'll be giving it to my to all my family and people. So it was really great back then.
Agu, you were not at the All Africa Games. You were not at the All Africa Games.
I was at the All Africa Games.
Okay.
Not as an athlete, but as a...
I wasn't even near there. I was watching on TV.
As a spectator. like I said, my mother was a member of the organizing committee. And we had come back after the war. And of course, she had gone back to Methodist Girls High School because she had been there since the late 50s.
Wow.
And I remember Miss Walker, who helped to rehabilitate her. And then, of course, I remember her star athlete. She was games mistress. She also taught maths and one or two things, other things. So I remember her star athlete was Modibo Oshikoya. So it was imprinted in my mind. Okay. And then when we went for the All Africa Games, I think she did something special, like winning a gold, a silver, and a bronze in that competition. I don't know, I think one was long jump, one was hurdles, and then
high jump.
And pentathlon, and she was coming straight from school. I think that was January 1973.
Yeah.
So I think she was coming straight from school in 1972, and then going straight. So it was a wonderful thing. Or like she said, it was a different time, and it was also exciting. Like Kweku said, Greer, Powell, and then the invitationals. So the stadium was always, it was very exciting. I thought one of the most exciting places I could be was at the National Stadium watching athletics, and especially the relays, when the invitational relays and things like that. So it was a different time, and all we can just do here is just to sit and listen as she
tries to recall history 50 years ago.
She tries to recall these things that happened 50 years ago, and we just dream about a better time and what could have been. Possibly cannot be rediscovered by the grace of God, even as she comes in and tells the stories of the things that happened. But it's just a privilege, and that's why I said to myself, I must come and look at her and observe her. And,
absolutely. All we want to do is just listen to her story, because it's not about...
Interestingly, Agu just pointed something out now. It's about this time 50 years ago that she took part in that 1973 All Africa Games. So it was around January, February.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's exactly 50 years. I just pointed that out.
That's absolutely true. We are celebrating 50 years of your first gold medal. Satish, 50 years ago, you must have been like 30 years old.
I'm just
Wasn't even 10.
Satish, did you ever hear of the name? Because you are from one of the Commonwealth countries, and if you are in any one of those 52 countries or so, or 54 countries from Africa, then you must, Modupe Oshikoya, Ebenezer Obey sang one evergreen song in her honor in those days. But Satish, your comments?
Well, my comments are, I don't really have too much to say. I'm just enjoying listening to what Modupe has to say. As it is something that we don't get to hear too much about, and we don't see too much of it as well. And especially after such a time of 50 years. 50 years ago, it was one of the greatest years in sport. That is 1972, which is a little bit cheating because it is 51 years technically, but that was one of the all-time great years in sport. You had a fantastic West German team with Günter Netzer and Gerd Müller. You had in the European football, you had Godfrey Chitalu with the most amazing year in football, and you have this as well, which is not really mentioned too much. You hear about the Olympic boycott, but you don't hear about it, and you really should. It should be celebrated because it actually demonstrates the importance of the Olympic boycott, because she lost her chance to win gold medals at the Olympic Games. That doesn't come back.
But
And
you
it
were
should-
you were at the 1972 Olympics, were you not?
Yeah.
You must
Sorry,
have
76 was
Modupe.
the boycott.
No, I think Modupe was at the 1972 Olympics. Were
No,
you?
Yeah.
no, you're right. 76 was the Olympic.
The
or
boycott.
the boycott.
Yeah,
was,
but did you go to
Black September.
Munich in
You have
72?
gone to the Olympic Games.
No, I don't think so.
Dupe, did you go to Munich in 72?
Yeah, I was in Munich 72. That was my 72 in
You
Munich.
were a teenager. You were
That
a
was when all
teenager.
that was when all the Israeli athletes
Yes,
were
were
murdered by
killed.
the Palestinians. Yeah, but
That was Black September.
that was when the Olympic started going nosedive, because back then in 72 Olympics, before the Israeli athletes were killed, the Games Village was open like a marketplace. People were coming in and out, enjoying themselves. But when that happened, there was a lot of restriction. Now you have to have a card there to be able to come in. They close the gate. Nobody can come in anymore. Nobody can go into the Games Village anymore without ID. And so
That was a
it's
turning
becoming-
point. That was a turning
Yeah.
point in the history of the
Mhm.
Olympics. How
When
did
they were-
you, as a student, a teenager, how did you go to the Olympics in 72? You must have been a genius.
I did a lot of trials and competition before I was able. You have to qualify, so and I made a qualifying time and jump, and so there was a lot of competition going on back home, and then that's where they selected their team, because you have to meet the
qualifying times
you have to
and
meet
jumps
the,
and
the
all that.
time and all that. Yeah.
Who were some of your colleagues? I know that shortly before you, there was Titi Adeleke. There was
No, Adeleke wasn't competing back then. Boduri Jumoke also.
Okay.
They were the only.
what of Violet Odogu?
Violet Odogun also retired. She wasn't running back then, but it was more like Emodi, Ashanti, and Emilia Edet.
Emilia Edet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the Beatrice, what's her last name? Nwosu, and a couple of the other sprinters that was there. And may his soul rest in peace. There were in peace. Aboyade Ko also was
Yes.
Aboyade Ko was a hodler, and couple of the boxers also there.
I'm trying to recall. I think Olawumi Majekodunmi was there in table
Yes.
tennis at that.
And Kola
Jack.
Abdullahi.
Kola Abdullahi.
Olawale Abdullahi.
Yeah.
Iran against Ohene Kari.
Yeah.
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 That's the
Can I just
Ghanaian.
say something?
Ohene Kari Kari. So Ohene Kari Kari.
Yes.
Yeah. The Ghanaian.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
think Lawumi was there.
Ali Sanom was a Ghanaian top sprinter then. Ali Sanom.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Ali Sanom.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, what effect did seeing the late, great John Akibua have upon you and the other
Oh, yeah. That was 1972.
1972, in that it was an event where Africans weren't supposed to challenge, let alone be the best in the world. What effect did that
John
have
Akibua, yes.
on you? In terms of, did it inspire
John
you?
Akibua was a Ugandan.
Yeah, Uganda, yeah.
And he was a 400
400
meter
meter-
runner,
400
400
meter
meter hurdles.
Yes. He was the 400 world record holder then.
Yes, he broke the
And
world
surprisingly, during the warm up, we were warming up together and he was he mentioned something about look at that because he was African or something. That's why they gave him the outside lane.
record. Yes,
So
lane
he
8.
was
Was
concerned
complaining.
about that. And he mentioned it to me, and he said, "Oh yeah, look at what they did." And I told him, "Well, just go out there and do your best." And he went out there and blew everybody away. So,
Have you met him since then?
I think was it the All Africa of Africa and US track meet? I think that was the last time I saw him. Yeah.
Because you now
We
went
had an-
later. You now went later in 1974 to the Commonwealth Games in Christchurch. At
Yes.
this time, you were a superstar. So tell us about Christchurch.
When I went to Christchurch, I didn't even think I was going to. I just went because I was glad to be going to be representing Nigeria, and to get away from my family too. It was a channel of getting away from all the trouble in my home and all that. So, and they also representing Nigeria and traveling. So I didn't even have the slightest idea that I was going to even win anything. I just went. And somehow the hand of God was upon me. And if they ask me today, how did you do it? I just don't know. But God just planned it to make it.
Does it
My
happen
time,
like
I
that? You were champion at all Africa Games. How could you not
I was
believe?
champion, but
How could you
I
not
didn't think
believe
I
you
had
could
it.
win at the Commonwealth?
Yeah, I didn't believe nobody ever. You
Did
know,
it?
back then nobody even like tell you, "Oh yeah, you are good. You should do." Encourages you and say, all the coaches say, "Oh yeah, you can do it. You can do it." No, nobody ever told. We tell you anything about that. But it's now that you have coaches that will say, "Oh yeah, you have the ability." So you just go and do whatever you can do.
That was how it was then, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It
Yes.
was good.
I want, in those days, Modupe, how was it in the camp? You know, when you were called to camp from the national teams, how was life like then? What was the relationship with your coaches? How was training and all that?
Yeah, the training was so well. We used whatever we can. There was not too much facilities to use. Like now, they have weight. There was no weightlifting room where you can use it to help yourself. So we just use whatever we can. And the coaching people weren't that great, but they did the best they can.
They were mostly Nigerian coaches, have you?
Yeah, Nigerian coaches. They did whatever they can from their experience to help us. The training was one thing is discipline. They have to. If they say you have to be on the field by 7 o'clock, you better be there by 7 sharp, or else they drop you or whatever they're threatening you with. So,
how many hours a day did you train?
We trained in the morning and evening, two times a day. And when I got here, you can train morning, and in between you go to the weight room. You lift weight to enhance your muscle and all that. And then evening you will train. But back home, we only have the morning and evening training.
So now that takes us, before we go on a short break, that takes us to your journey to the United States, because you went to the United States pretty early in your career. It was from the United States that you joined us to go to the Olympic Games of 1976, and you joined us to go to the All-Africa Games in Algiers in 1978. And that was the last time that I saw you with the national team. But you left Nigeria, was it in 1975 or 6? Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, I left in March of 74.
You left in 74. You left as a girl, almost as a girl. And you didn't come back to this country to live anymore until even up to now. So tell us about that transition.
I've always come. I used to come before I came for the 76 Olympic and the 76 Alger. And because they keep boycotting the game, that's when I just decided, why am I wasting my energy? 76, we went to Montreal and we had to leave. And then 78, we went to Algiers. We were supposed to go to the Commonwealth, was in Alberta. And then we had to pull out again. So I decided I had enough of all this boycott.
The politics. You got tired of the politics.
Yeah, and the boycotting of... so we train, and then they decide we can't compete. So that was when I stopped running. Well, I was still competing here in the United States. I was still doing some competition. So, and even I did some senior games also here, but then I started having knee problems. That's when I stopped running.
Okay.
Just like Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you can see,
and incidentally, you stopped in 82. You stopped in 82.
Yeah, after I had my daughter in 1980. So even then, I still competed a little bit. I was for club with Chamberlain, the basketball
player. Yes.
A great. He sponsors us, and I competed for his team for a little bit before I stopped. Yeah. Even when I had my daughter, I was sick. I competed for a little bit until I started having knee problem.
Oh, knee problem. When we come back from our break, then we'll talk a little more about the knee problems, because I have my own I have my own story to tell also. So join us after the break.
After 27 years as a print publication and 17 years as a website, Complete Sports, your #1 daily sports newspaper, is going completely digital. Now you can read
all your regular in-depth content
presented in captivating graphic design on your phone at the click
of a button.
Complete Sports goes completely digital
And it's completely free.
Download Telegram app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Join the Complete Sports Telegram channel. Receive your free copy of Complete Sports and Complete Breaking News Daily. It's completely free. Complete Sports, Nigeria's #1 sports daily since 1995.
Shagway is really an artist these days. He's untouchable in that right flank. Shagway is still going, and it's in the net. It is in the net. Goal number 3, incredible.
Eagle 7 Sports Radio, the best sports.
It's lights out and away we go. Sebastian Vettel gets a flyer ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He's out too. I don't think he's going up. He's done the left hand. Come on, get up.
The best station, the best for you.
Within one.
Eagle 7 Sports Radio. Fly with us.
Yeah, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this has been the Sports Parliament, and it's coming to you live from the studios of Eagle 7 Sports Radio in Abeokuta. And our very special guest today is Modupe Oshikoya, OLY, and she's joining us all the way from California, where she now lives. And parliamentarians have been thoroughly enjoying her story so far. And if you are at home and later in the show you want to join us, you can actually call and pass a remark or ask a question, and write down the telephone number now for when I will ask for telephone numbers to, for telephone to be used. And the number is 0700 22 55 1037. 0700 22 55 1037. That's the number to reach us with. When I listen to Modupe and Agu and the rest, you should hear this. You should hear this. When I was playing football, I had somebody like Muda Lawal, who was my colleague. Muda loved football. The passion with which Muda played football, the way he held football, the way he would sleep with the ball, wake up with the ball, first to wake up, last to leave the pitch, and all of that. I found it very strange. Even though we were colleagues, I was not so, really deep passionate about the game. Listening to Modupe this evening, I just have a feeling that probably she was like me. Yes, she was in track and field, but she didn't really love the game as much as, a few other people, because boycott of Olympics, boycott of Commonwealth Games, and now you decide, look, I've had enough. If somebody is passionate about something, you don't just leave it. And she left, and, I even don't hear so much. We didn't hear so much about her and all that. Modupe, were you really, really in love with track and field? As famous as you are in track and field, did you love it? Because I didn't, truly. Yes, I was good at it and all of that, but if I was truly passionate, like Muda Lawal, like Rashidi Yekini, like people like that, I would have been something else. I would have been a genius in football. But, I was not too committed. I was not too committed. Modupe?
I wouldn't say that I don't have the passion for it. I have the passion, the gift, and I was I mean, to me, when I was out there, I'm dedicated. I love jumping. I enjoy all the running and jumping hurdles, but it wasn't in my life that much. I wasn't one of the people that is going to, if I don't win, I'm going to cry. If I win, okay, good. If I don't win, it's not the end of the world for me. So, and both the glory and the I just take it lightly because to me, nothing lasts. If you are gifted with something, yeah, go do it, use it, but don't let it consume you. Don't let it take your whole life.
You see,
that's the way I see it.
Exactly. So, that's not how. If you saw the way Rashidi Yekini took football or Muda Lawal took football, it was they were eating it, breathing it. They 1 minute they couldn't cope with that. A match was cancelled or something like that. They wanted to just do it so much. Anyway, my people, you can now join again. Join in the conversation. You want to ask any question, pass any remark, Kweku?
Yes, I think just for the records, I think I did some checking, and I realized that Modupe won 5 gold medals in 2 All-Africa games.
Yep. And
also a gold medal in high jump, I think, in the Commonwealth Games. And that's something that is quite incredible. 1973 and 1978, a total of 5 gold medals, an individual 1 for the nation. It tells a lot about consistency. It tells a lot about dedication, and it tells a lot about the will to excel. Because we're looking at a 5-year period, 73 and 78, and you're still the best in the entire African continent over a 5-year period in multi-dimensional sports, high jump, long jump, and hurdles. I think it's something that is highly commendable and something that not just a gift will do, but also your own dedication, your training,
yes,
your commitment, everything must have led to all that.
Yes.
How come you did 7 different sports? You could do 7 different sports, including 800 meters, shot put, javelin, 100 meters. You ran the 4x100 meters relay. How come you could do so many things?
Well, when you're out there and you have the gift, yeah, you just have to do it. And most of the time, especially the relay, I don't like running relays, but my coach always persuade me and beg me to run the relay for them. So that's how I go in the relay. So believe me, when at the end of the competition, I'm beat, I'm tired. I don't even want to go anywhere. When they have like a dance and all that, I didn't feel like going because you're so tired, you're so beat that. But when you're out there,
yeah. Go on.
You just enjoy it, whatever you're doing there. I love it.
Why don't we have many girls, women, come into pentathlon or heptathlon? That multi-dimensional event. Why don't they do that? Because what does it take? What does it take?
It's not an easy event. I mean, when you go in there, you have to do like 3 or 4 events in one day. You do the heat, you do the semifinal, you do the finals, and on top of that, you go and do your own individual event also. It takes a lot out of you, and you're so tired. I know also you have to be all rounder. You have to know. My weakest in all the event was the shot put, because my body wasn't that built for shot put. But after in Nigeria, we didn't have weight to be lifting weight, so I wasn't able to do too much with the shot put. But when I came here, I was able to lift weight and build more muscle and more body mass, so I was able to improve in my shot put. I probably would have won the pentathlon at the Commonwealth in New Zealand if not for the shot put, because I won 4 events, but the shot put was suck. So, and the lady from Ireland, she won it because her shot put was, and she even commented that, wow, I was the best at this and that, look out for this girl or something. So we became friends for a long time before we lost her. So.
Well, after
So
yeah, go on.
You know, Mr. Chairman, what strikes me is that she's just an extremely gifted athlete.
Mm-hmm.
It came natural to you.
Yes.
And you didn't have to do the things that other people, if you were American also and you had all the facilities that they had, or if you really did push yourself a lot harder, I mean, you would have, I think you just strike me like somebody who just came natural. You just could run, you could jump, and you just expressed yourself without really doing too much. I don't know if I'm right or if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, you're sure right. And if you don't have that gift or to do all that, you can't. There's no way you can do it. You just have to be gifted to be able to do it. And you're right. Because when I go out there sometimes, and I just do it, I don't think too much about it. I just do it.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Satish.
Did you encourage
There's
any
a
of
couple
your
of things I'd actually like to ask. Is the athlete you were referring to Mary Peters?
Yes. We were friends for a long time. She just was amazed the way I jump around and then yes. We were friends for a long time. She was good in the shot put, but the other events I was able to be her, but yes. So you remember that's Mary Peters, yeah.
Satish is a historian. If we were discussing football now, he will tell you the history of everybody in Africa. Kweku, you are going to say something.
Yeah.
I wanted to find out from Modupe whether she encouraged or supported any of her children to go into sports, into athletics. Or
Yeah,
did
my
any of
daughter.
them natural ability that you had?
Yeah, my daughter was able to compete for UCLA, well, from Poly High School. From Poly High School, they recruited her, UCLA recruited her to run for UCLA. So she gained a full scholarship to run for UCLA. And she could have done a volleyball also, because she was one of the top volleyball player at Poly High, but she decided to stay with track and field. So she saved me a lot of money when
she got her scholarship.
Yeah. So to get into UCLA. And my grandkids now, the older one, Elisha, he plays football, baseball, and basketball.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'd also like to ask you, a couple of years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting and interviewing the great Philbert Bailly. And
Yeah.
he was saying about the boycott that 1976, he supported it because he wanted to do something to help the children after
Africa.
But he also had mixed feelings about it because he knew it was his best chance. That was when, if he's going to win the Olympic gold medal, it was going to be then. And it makes you sort of feel really, really bad about it because he was one of the greatest athletes around, and he never had the chance to fulfill the potential that he could have done. I mean, he still was great, and he still almost won 4 years later. But it makes you sort of wonder, what should you do in a situation like this? What should sports people do when confronted with a crime against humanity that they can do something about, but it has this effect that all the...
Wasn't it Philbert Bailly that beat Kano?
No. Philbert Bailly defeated John Walker.
In 74, he did.
John Walker, not Kipchoge Keino.
Okay.
Yeah, but go on, Modupe. You know, those boycotts, her own reaction is to be frustrated and to want to give up. But, you know, Satish asked a question. We were together at the Olympic Games. One evening, they just invited all of us, said they needed to see us, and that we should just go and pack our things and go back home. It was devastating, to say the least. But, Modupe, your own impression?
Well, back then we didn't understand it because they didn't explain to us exactly what was going on. It's years later that I learned the reason for the boycott. And to me, we should support our sisters and brothers that are being oppressed. And regardless of, but I don't know if sports really accomplished anything with the boycott, because some countries still competed and they were there. But did New Zealand ever feel the effect of that? No. Africa is the one that really, I didn't know whether it really accomplished the reason they boycotted the game. And then 78 again, the Commonwealth, they boycotted that one also. And it's only like, I think in Nigeria and other country were the only one that boycotted the game, where the other African countries went and competed. So I don't think, even in 80 also, when the US and Russia boycotted the games, did they really accomplish their goal of the reason they were boycotting? Should sports be the center of all this? I don't know.
Well, some of us know. Some of us know, and many years it may not achieve immediately what they were boycotting the games for. If you listen to Ambassador Andrew Young, you know, the American, he will tell you that the 1976 boycott of the Olympics in Montreal, if there's one thing that he did, it is to hasten the end of apartheid in South Africa and to hasten the release of Nelson Mandela from jail. It didn't happen immediately, but that boycott, you know, turned the Olympics into a weapon that helped apartheid and helped in the release of Nelson Mandela. So that's just to, explain it to you. It's not immediate. It didn't happen the following day. They didn't send out New Zealand the following day or something like that. But it had an effect down the line. So, go on, Kweku.
Yes, it's interesting. The point Satish made as to actual evaluating the effects of those boycotts. Yes, they may have achieved something in terms of trying to get on board. What effect would it have on the athletes who had to boycott those games in terms of reaching the peak of their performances, reaping the full benefits? So in terms of weighing the loss and gain for the athletes that boycotted, it may be difficult to say it is worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. No, if you are thinking of the athletes, absolutely. So it was devastating for athletes. It terminated certain careers. Take for instance somebody that I want to try and get on this show, Charlton Ehizwele. Charlton was easily the best jumper and triple jumper in the world going to the 1976 Olympics.
At the time, yes.
Going to the 76 Olympics. He never had, because the games were boycotted, he wasn't there in 1980. So his full potential was never achieved. So you are absolutely right. It's some kind of balance, but what do we do? I think we can now call for telephone. Yeah, I saw somebody was trying to reach us. Don't forget, the telephone line is 0700 2255 1037. 0700 2255 1037. That's Eagle 7 Sports Radio. Kweku, you are going to say something again?
No, I'm
okay.
I'm fine.
Is Agu there? Okay.
I think
Modupe, why did you, the moment you left sport, you never thought of coming back to come and do anything in sports in Nigeria? You never participated in conversations. I'm not even talking of coming to coach or coming to do something like that, but even in the conversations, this is the longest conversation you've ever had on sports in Nigeria in 50 years. Tonight is the longest. Why has that been so? You just totally left sports. Totally.
I didn't leave sports. I would say I came home, was it 2016 or 20, when they had the...
That's Koja. Did you come for Koja?
Yeah, the one
2003 in Abuja.
Yeah, All Africa
Games.
And then they have
that was ceremonial. I'm talking about coming to coach, coming to
coach,
to do stuff like that, to lend your voice,
I'm just one of those people that is quiet. I don't look for glory. I don't look for to be celebrated. You won't believe even when I won those medals at 78 Commonwealth, I didn't think too much about it. I just, when we left, I put all my medals in the suitcase. I didn't think of it that I was supposed to
put them around your
neck. Put it on for show and all. I just locked it up in my suitcase that was checked in. It was when we were at the airport or somewhere that the coach said, "Where are your medals?" I said, "It's in the suitcase, locked up." So I didn't think too much about it because I guess it was brought up because at home nobody really celebrate all my achievements like the people outside. So I didn't think too much.
So at home they didn't celebrate all your achievements. They didn't think you were a superstar and started giving you extra food and all of that.
That's why I didn't think too much of it. So whenever I win, I just say okay. And so that's why when I came here, I just kept to myself, and I tried to do things on my own, because I'm not one that asks people for help or demand, because I'm liquid, I should get it. No. Whatever I do, I want to own it on my own terms, on my own basis. So that's why I stayed. I've been invited to other things, like they had a presentation for me. When was it? 2016, and then I came home for the national. What did they call it? The one they had at what's that stadium opposite the national stadium?
Teslim Balogun.
That was National Sports Festival in Lagos.
Yeah.
2012.
I was invited to that. I've been invited to a couple of meets, but I just come and stay on my. I don't like. The thing is, I just don't like being out there. I've always run away from
publicity.
From the press, even when I was competing. When they want to interview me, I just want to run. I don't want to be bothered about anything. So
wow, incredible. When people
you left Nigeria. You left Nigeria in 1974. Was it a scholarship? Was it a
full scholarship? From the Nigerian government, and a partial. When I went to UCLA, a partial scholarship also.
Say that again. Full scholarship from the Nigerian government. Say that again, please.
Yeah, the Nigerian government. That was when Brigadier
General Adefope.
No, Adefope.
Isaac Akioye.
No, the military guy that was empowered, and Gowon. That was when Gowon was still the president.
Head of state.
President.
And Henry Adefope, he was the minister.
Adefope was one of the
minister.
But Gowon was the one that really, back then the military government was into sports a lot.
Yeah.
They really encourage. They encourage. So they were the one that gave me the scholarship when I was invited by the coach here to come and run for him and compete.
Wow.
Then when I went to UCLA, they gave me a partial scholarship because I told them I already have my own scholarship. I don't want anybody to push me into threatening me with a scholarship if I don't run, I just want to concentrate on my education. And if I can run, I'll run for you, but don't.
That's a different
don't
word.
That if I don't win or if I don't compete for you, you're going to take my scholarship. No.
So you had the Nigerian government backbone.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Were you the only one at the time, or was it a general thing that they did for top athletes at that time?
I would say I was the first one to get that scholarship back then. The first one to gain a full scholarship. Even before I left Nigeria too, before I finished Methodist Girls High School, I was given a scholarship to finish at Methodist Girls High School. Put in a boarding house there, and being the only junior among all the senior girls to be in the boarding house with them.
On a scholarship, on a federal government scholarship.
Yeah.
At Methodist Girls High School.
Yeah, the Commissioner of Education Mr. There was two of them. They took me like the Commissioner of Education for Lagos State. There was I forgot it.
I didn't know Ogunsoya.
Ogunsoya, and the other one too. Yeah, they took me like into under their hands, like I was their own child. I mean, they were so happy for me, more than my own family. Even when I did the school set, the final school set, Ogunsoya was right there at the train station because we went to a competition in Jos to come and congratulate me that I passed my school set. He was so happy for me.
That's the Commissioner for Education. This is
education.
The story.
Two of them, they took me, and there's the other one too. I still have the photo in my.
Who gives athletes scholarship these days in Nigeria?
Yeah, back then.
That's why I'm so interested in hearing that. I think perhaps the other person that Modupe was trying to remember, maybe Alhaji Femi Okunu, because I know he was commissioner for works.
Yes.
Yes. I didn't know Ogunsoya was commissioner for education.
And oh my, they were the best. God
helped a lot of athletes then.
Yes.
The sports loving. He played cricket for Nigeria. He also did athletics for Nigeria.
Oh my God. Yes.
They went to King's College with A.K. Amu. And coincidentally, Femi Okunu, A.K. Amu, Adeniyi Ogunsoya, they were all...
Yes. Oh, yeah.
They were all...
Yeah.
King's College old boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
King's College and sports. You see? King's College and
sports. God just put them in my
sports.
way at the right time.
Yeah.
Really at the right time, because they were all over. If not for them, especially when I got that scholarship to be in a boarding house, oh God, I probably would have flunked my school set because of the problem at home. But with the grace of God, I was able to concentrate when I was in the boarding house, study without any interruption or problem.
So this problem at home, it is that they were so much against your going into athletics instead of concentrating on your sports. Is that what the problem is?
No, jealousy. With five wives at home. So the other women, the other
women and their children.
Happy. The wives, the other wives weren't happy for me, so they were the one attacking me.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
African problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Satish, you must say something.
Well, with the wives attacking you, you could always outrun them.
Really? Yes, God gave me the ability and protection to really, yeah.
No, but I must ask you this. There's nobody that is immune from stardom, and your own was beyond what anybody before you had ever enjoyed. You know, your stardom was up to now. If you know the number of messages I received for us to have you on the show tonight, it is incredible. And we're talking 50 years ago. You were a mega star in the whole of Africa at that time. So you couldn't have been immune from that influence. How did you take it? But you told us that, you know, you didn't really know or something. How did you manage that level of stardom? Even Ebenezer Obey sang in your praise.
I don't know. I just go about my business. Really. Even my daughter and they have to go and dig on the into all this Google and all this to find out
about their mother. Really?
Yeah, but so they say, "Oh, why didn't you tell us about it? Why didn't you tell us you did it? Why didn't you tell?" No, I don't. I'm not one that's like to blow my own
trumpet.
Trumpet or something. So I just, most of the stuff that even when I walked to, it was one of them that happened to Google one day and said, Modupe on the, and he came to work and oh my God, everybody was, you did it? I say, well, yes. So they were surprised. They didn't know. So they all started spreading it all over everywhere.
So tell us about what you did in the States after the end of your sports career. What did you do? You were talking of work now and people going upstairs to dig out about who you are. So what did you do? What's interesting about the things that you did for how many years? 40 years, almost 30-something years of your life up till now.
Yeah, when I stopped computing, I coach high school here, Palo Verde High, and I work at the Parks and Recreation, developing different sports for the children. And then after the Parks and Recreation, I work for the school district with special education. And that's when I came about working. I saw the ad there one time in the newspaper. They call it a longshoreman in the United States that's working at the port of LA and Long Beach, and doing some job that I never thought I'd ever do in my life. Driving the crane, driving the big rig, and forklift. So
tell us about it, Modupe Oshikoya, driving the forklift and the crane.
And really driving the forklift, lifting all this heavy stuff. I never thought I ever did. But you just have to do what you have to do. And so
how did that go? And
from there, from there, I mean, I was the first Nigerian to ever go on that job, really. The first Nigerian woman, too. And it wasn't easy. Because being a woman, being an African, too, Black Africa, they gave me a help, but I stuck in there. Made my money and then became the foreman that was in charge of for everybody afterward. So,
wow! So now you are retired.
I'm retired now.
So what are you doing now? How are you enjoying your retirement and your life?
Just relaxing, being a grandma, and being used and called every time. Can you pick this up? Can you do this? Can you do? Yeah, being a grandma here. Grandchildren.
I'm sure that's more challenging than being an Olympian.
Yeah.
Is that more challenging than being an Olympian?
Oh,
taking care of the babies.
I mean, you have to deal with three kids. You have to go pick them up from school sometimes, or take them to sports activities and keep them. So, there's nothing better than being a grandparent.
Wow.
The joy of being a grandparent and
congratulations. So as we start to round up tonight's show, just tell us about the future. What are you thinking about it? Now you come home more often and you've seen Nigeria. It's a beautiful place. Forget about the politics that is going on now, but we are projecting we are projecting that this country is going to be one of the best places in the world to live and to work in a few years' time. That's our belief. So what is your own thought about the future of Nigeria?
That's a prayer. That's our prayer every day for Nigeria. That's always been my goal, to come home. I remember when I first came here, every summer I'm looking forward to go home. I can't wait for the school to be over and go home and spend time at home. And then when it's time for me to come back, I feel sad. But now, things are, instead of things going forward, we're still struggling. But we're praying Nigeria is going to make it. Because Nigeria is one of the
grandchildren.
Yes.
Interesting.
So when we just pray that this election will put the right person, the right man or woman in the government, so that we can get all the improvement and things going again. That's our prayer, so that more of us will be coming home more and more. Because there's nothing here either. There's nothing in this place. There's no place like home.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Modupe is going to be 70 years old next year.
Wow.
Because celebration.
Wow. Well, you see that everybody is checking up on you.
Let me correct that.
Okay.
Listen, because when my father was about to pass, when was it? 1 year, he gave my rebirth certificate to my brother.
Okay, so that's interesting. Announcement for the world now. Announcement for the world.
So he changed it. I don't know, for a reason, because my dad was working for a company back then that they transfer him from state to state.
Yeah.
And I was traveling with him because I was being bad. So they have to ship me over to him to live with him. So, Bobby, let me call you back. We are doing the Zoom. Okay. And so I guess that's when they changed my birth certificate, roll it back about 3 years. So I'm already 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll be 72 this year.
Really? Wow. Sister.
You don't
and I've been disrespecting you. I've been following the Google age. I've been disrespecting you. I should just be. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
May 22nd, 1951, instead of 54 that he put on it. So I've been trying to change it.
That's the world exclusive on Sports Parliament.
Exactly. This is world exclusive on Sports Parliament. So say that again. 22nd of May.
Yeah, May 22nd, 1951, instead of 54 that I was using before. So I'll be 72
in May
this year.
Well, ahead of that, yes, May, we will still celebrate you. We will still celebrate you. we on behalf of all Nigerians, because you have really, really served us, particularly those of us who were there, to know that Modupe Oshikoya was actually a goddess of track and field, and not just in Nigeria.
Please,
No, don't worry. It is not as if we are blaspheming. We are not blaspheming. We are not blaspheming. You see, she's running away. Okay, Modupe Oshikoya. Well,
another thing that happened.
Yes.
With Modupe Oshikoya then in 1970, I think she was probably one of those that propagated female participation in sports. When with her performance and all that, many of us were in secondary school then. We found out that a lot of women now decided to go into sports because of the exploits of Modupe Oshikoya. That I remember that was a great and huge impact on secondary school girls at the time, early 70s and late 70s. Participation in sports. She was one of those that actually catapulted female participation in sports.
Yes. Yeah, but because I remember when I went home this time, when they were presenting that the female athlete, one of the girls that attended came running to me and said, Sister, you know, it's you that encouraged me to be running. I was watching you when I was very young, and I said, I want to be like that. I said, oh, wow, I was impressed. So she couldn't leave my side. She kept holding my hand. She was so excited. I said, oh, I didn't know I have that influence on people. Yeah, I'm thankful that I did that. Yeah, a lot of women have. I mean, look at Amusu now. Look at all these other women on the spotlight. Yeah.
Amuson. Yeah.
That's when I see them, I'm so happy, because back then women weren't supposed to be running. When they see you, say, "Oh, you're a man, you're this," and this and that. But now they welcoming. And one other thing is when I was back home, when we were in ordinary practice, when we are at the stadium practicing, the stadium is full with all these young and people watching us, just encouraging us and watching about. Now look at the stadium; nobody even come out to watch anything anymore. Yeah? The stadium used to be packed just for ordinary practice and competition, and they're rooting us, but I don't know what's going on, but hopefully we bring the sports back again the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Well, last words from Satish before we go tonight.
First of all, I'd like to say to Modipe, it has been an absolute pleasure listening to your stories and how you developed as an athlete and continued throughout the years. I would like to add one last bit, which is in relation to Filbert Bayi again, and that was that the boycott had an immense effect, not just upon him and on athletics, but Tanzania never won an Olympic gold medal. And it's, if you talk to Tanzanian people, they're rather annoyed with this because they basically think Bayi would have won the gold medal and it for Tanzanian sport. How do you feel about that? And with your sort of career in athletics, what is the biggest thing for you? What is your greatest achievement? And also, what's your biggest regret?
My regret is I don't know if I have any regrets really in doing sports because sports has been good to me in a way. So even though we pull out from the 76 Olympics, which also was my peak year, probably would have won something, I don't know, but we pull out. But we just have to sacrifice also for other people. It's a sort of sacrifice.
Absolutely.
And we don't know what we could have been or what should have been, but the great achievement of all this, at least we were there. We were there. We put on the uniform. We were preparing for the uniform, and but we didn't compete. But at least the world was able to see what was going on in South Africa there. So he brought us some good about for the world, even though it's been going on, but at least they know we were with them and we sacrificed for them. So, but I won't hold it against any listen. So it's always God's way. It wasn't meant to happen for him. I feel sorry. Yeah, Fever Bayo was one of my top, my best friend. If you mention my name to him, he will remember me. We were friends because we went to Jamaica together to compete. So,
that's it, Modupe. That's it.
Okay.
So, Kweku, I have my gavel here. So I want you to crown today's conversation for us completely and then drive me to the gavel to adjourn for today's meeting.
Yes, honestly, I think this has been a learning experience, a sobering experience, and an exhilarating experience for me, and I'm sure for all of us here to listen, to reminisce about those things, the way our sports used to be, to see one of our greatest legends, if not the greatest female athletic legend Nigeria has produced, to come and remind us of how things used to be, and to remind us of where Nigeria can be if we begin to do things the right way again.
Amen. Yes.
It's been a fantastic show. Honestly, I just thank God for the life of Modupe Oshikoya, and I pray that the rest of your life will continue to be a shining light to Nigerians all over the world. Mr. Speaker, hand over to you.
Thank you.
Well, since you didn't move emotion,
amen. I receive
it. I will move it on your behalf. I want to use this opportunity to thank my sister and my new friend, Modupe Oshikoya, for gracing our show tonight, the Sports Parliament. People all over the world have heard you and have seen you. And on behalf of all of us collectively, we want to appreciate your contributions to sports in Africa and in the Commonwealth of Nations. And in fact, indeed, in the world. We wish you a very wonderful future, long life and prosperity. On the 22nd of May, we shall be there by the grace of God to celebrate with you. So salute all the grandchildren. On that note, I, on behalf of everybody, ask the world, do we go on this break and adjourn next week, Thursday? All those who are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I hear the word. I hear the word. All those who are against, say nay. There's no nays.
I really appreciate. Yeah.
Modupe, thank you.
Thank you.
The eyes have it.
27 years as a print publication and 17 years as a website. Complete Sports, your #1 daily sports newspaper, is going completely digital. Now you can read
all your regular in-depth content
presented in captivating graphic design on your phone at the click
of a button.
Complete Sports goes completely digital
and it's completely free.
Download Telegram app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Join the Complete Sports Telegram channel. Receive your free copy of Complete Sports and complete breaking news daily. It's completely free. Complete Sports, Nigeria's #1 sports daily since 1995.
Shagway is really an artist these days. He's untouchable in that right flank. Shagway is still going, and it's in the net. It is in the net. Goal number 3. Incredible.
Eagle 7 Sports Radio. The best sports.
It's lights out and away we go. Sebastian Vettel gets a flyer ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He's out too. I don't think he's going up. He's trying to left hand. Come on, get up.
The best station. the best for you.
Within one!
Eagle 7 Sports Radio. Fly with us.